Good evening and welcome to the special presentations of the City of Moreno Valley, September 7th, 2021. I call this special presentations meeting to order at 5:41 p.m. The first presentation that we'll have is a presentation from Shield for Kids by retired Detective Dan Perez. And so, Dan, we'll have you do the presentation, and then I wanted to present you with something after. Basically. I'm kind of thinking it might be better if you want to do it from the podium.
Sure.
So that way we're not seeing your back.
Okay.
Might be just easier. Yeah. We'll help you. Or you got it? Okay. Yeah, because it could still zoom in at the podium.
Sorry. I want to. Thank you. So I wanted to apologize for running late, and I wanted to present you and give you the story of our nonprofit Show for Kids, and also to the programs that we have. So I'd like to just get in the story. If you could visualize the time when you were a small child, a time when your mother was in the kitchen cooking your favorite meal, and how she always made sure you're well groomed and dressed. How you couldn't wait for your father to get home from work. He would sit on his favorite chair, pick you up, put you on his lap, wrap you in his arms, and you'd watch TV together. You and your siblings would play games till it was time to go to sleep. In your home, you felt loved, safe, and protected. However, everything changed when you turned 5 years old. Your mother became ill with cancer, and she left you. The last time you saw her is when you buried her at the cemetery. As the years passed, your father started drinking and started working longer hours. Sometimes in the middle of your sleep, you would be wakened by the sounds of sobbing. You'd walk in the directions of the sobbing and it always lead you to the same door, your father's door. You could hear him sobbing in his prayers, and you wanted to run to him, but his door was always locked. At the age of 9, an older sister was supposed to take you to the movies. To the Bible study. Instead, she took you to the movies. When your father comes home from work, he's upset and uses a belt to discipline you. The neighbors hear all the crying and they call the police. The police show up and they do see visible belt marks, visible injuries. So they remove you and your siblings from your father, from your home, and they place you in protective custody with just a shirt on your back. Over the next 4 years, you were bounced around from one foster home to another, carrying all your belongings in a large trash bag, such as this one. The only time you see your siblings is in court. You go to court for about 4 years, after which time the court is pleased that your father has turned his life around, and they allow you to go back home to your father and with your siblings. and at that time, you build even a stronger bond and know the true meaning of a family. That was my wife's childhood. I worked for Los Angeles Police Department as a detective. I worked our abused child unit. I investigate cases where the parent or legal guardian either killed, physically, or sexually abused their children. I can start my day at the coroner's office staring at a 3-year-old motionless lying on a stainless steel table as I wait for the medical examiner to determine the cause of death. Or I could be at a hospital providing a physician with a sexual assault kit for a physical for a 14-year-old. Or I could be at the school talking to the school nurse or teacher, trying to determine the injuries to a child. After I would take the case, I would locate all the siblings and remove them from the school or from their home. No time for them to pack, and I would take them back to the police station. I would contact the Department of Children and Family Services and wait for them to tell me where to place the kids. I could place one kid in San Pedro, I could place another kid in North Hollywood, and the last kid in Riverside. This all-day event into the morning, sometimes 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, and there I am telling this 9-year-old child to go stay in this house of strangers. Sometimes they would reach for my hand or hide behind my legs or my back, only because I've been with them all day and I've been feeding from the vending machine. So I'd push her hand away, put them in front of me, and tell them, go stay in that house. And then I'd walk away. Because of our life experiences, why we decided to start our nonprofit Show for Kids. We have 2 programs. Program 1 is the backpacks. We provide law enforcement with backpacks to give to the kids when they take in protective custody. We feel that the backpacks help the transition for the child to go into the home. Inside the backpacks, we have first, the backpacks, what we do is we identify the sex, male or the sex, male or female. And then we identify them by the age of the garments. And then what we do is we have a blank tape, and this is for law enforcement to put the child's name in to make it more personal. In the front, we have a hair barrettes. This is for a female teenager. She gets a mask, hand sanitizer, and inside here is a blanket. She gets a teddy bear. She gets sleepwear, bottom and top. She gets underwear. She gets socks. She gets a tablet. She gets body wash, hairbrush, body spray, toothbrush, pencil, a diary, and a crossword puzzle. Again, we feel this helps the child in the transition staying with the temporary foster placement. Program 2 is what we do is excursions. As mentioned, when the kids go through dependency court, they could be in court for 2 to 4 years. So what we do is we work with the Department of Children and Family Services to find out where the kids are located at, and we get tickets for like Disneyland or Knott's Berry Farm. And what we like to do is the same law enforcement officers that remove those kids from their home and separated from their siblings, we'd like to give the tickets back to those same law enforcement officers so they can go back to those same kids and give them the tickets for a day of fun at excursions. Now, if I could ask, do you know what month breast cancer awareness is? It's October. Does anyone know what the color is? It's pink. Does anyone know what month child abuse awareness is? In 1983, President Reagan signed a proclamation stating, as a nation, we had observed April as child abuse awareness month. Does anyone know what the color is? In 1989, there was a grandmother by the name of Bonnie Finney. Bonnie Finney was called to the crime scene to identify her 3-year-old grandson, Michael, who was stuffed, killed, and placed in a toolbox very similar to this inside, but all metal, and was thrown into a creek near his home by her daughter's husband. What Bonnie did is she went and got a blue ribbon and tied it to her car antenna, and she drove around town. And when people asked her, what did that blue ribbon represent? She would say the last time she saw her 3-year-old grandson, Michael, his lifeless body was all black and blue. And she wanted to bring child abuse awareness to her community. Now I'd like to give you some national statistics. A child abuse call is made every 10 seconds. This is George Almaraz. He was a 6-year-old boy, lived in the city of Pomona, and last June 1st, he was abused, tortured, and killed by his stepmother. He will go in the national statistics, which is, before today is over, 5 children will die to either physical abuse or neglect. This is a commendation I received from the district attorney's office for the arrest and prosecution of a 30-year-old man who had a bicycle shop and was molesting boys in his neighborhood. Those boys too went into the national statistics, which is one out of every 4 girls, 1 out of every 6 boys will be sexually abused before their 18th birthday. In 2019, Los Angeles County Department of Family Children's Services received 154,018 referrals. Orange County received 41,701 referrals. Riverside County, your county, received 60,933 referrals. That same year, one LA courthouse handled 18,483 dependency hearings. The other night, I was watching TV and I saw a commercial about the sad puppy, and it was asking me to donate for the sad puppies. And I was screaming at the TV, "What about the kids?" So out of curiosity, I Googled, how many nonprofits are there in the United States for abused animals? And it said 43,864. Then I Googled, how many nonprofits for abused kids? 1,509. At Southwest, we do Shield for Kids. We do not ask for donations. We're looking for investors, people that want to invest in their communities. Investors that want victims of child abuse to know that there is a community that stands with them and supports them on their unknown journey. One of the definitions of a shield is to protect someone. We are supporting law enforcement who support victims of child abuse. A few months ago, I delivered backpacks to Los Angeles Police Department Harbor Station. Within a couple of weeks, they called me and said they already used 3 backpacks. They arrested a mother on drug charges, and she had 3 boys, ages 4, 6, and 8. They had been living out of a car for over a year. They had no shoes and no socks. The back seat is where they ate, slept, and played. The detective said when he gave the boys the backpacks, they all had confused looks and were puzzled, and he had to reassure them that those backpacks and all the contents inside were theirs. The most recent was George Palomares. Pomona police removed 5 of George's siblings, and they all received Shield for Kid backpacks. As I wrap up the presentation, if I could ask for your assistance by reaching out to other city community leaders, businesses, churches, and the public. We're often turned away and told that they have no time for us. I will take the presentation anywhere, for there is child abuse in every community. And no need to thank us for what we're doing. Let us thank you for your contribution and investing in your community so we can keep our program going. In closing, I would like to quote Nelson Mandela, who said, "History will judge us by the difference we make in everyday lives of our children." Thank you.
Thank you for that presentation. You reached out to our office really to share about your program. We learned about it, and we saw how powerful it was, and how it's helped a lot of kids. And so I said, you know what, let's have you come to our special presentations. So I thank you for that. If I can have you come right over here too, if you don't mind. Just, oh, my mask. Hold on, let me get my mask. There we go. Yeah, so I just wanted to thank you on behalf of the city council, the city, for your leadership and in implementing this program. It's very powerful. I know that just a week ago, many of us and even the council members, we were able to go take a visit of RCCAP, which is basically the Riverside County Assessment Team, and they do assessment on kids to see if they were abused or not. And it was very powerful. When I walked away from there, it's just, wow, just the amount of work that everybody does together to really help our kids. It's great to see that everybody's working together, but this is very powerful too, that we have nonprofits like this that are stepping up to give back to those kids that need help. As a member of the CASA board as well, they help a lot of kids with foster care. So I know what you mean, because I've been in those hearings where I've seen those kids waiting, and it's very sad. Very, very, very sad. So on behalf of the city council, we'd like to present you with this proclamation here.
Thank you.
And well, sure. Yeah, let's. Yeah, we're gonna take pictures with bags. Oh.
With GI Security,
Oh,
and
yeah.
they're the ones that make contributions.
Oh, okay.
So, I apologize for being late. It happens. Yeah.
No, just to be safe. Yeah.
Sure. That's my phone.
Oh, with this one.
Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. Sir.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for your time and thank you for listening to me.
Absolutely.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your time.
Oh, and your proclamation.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. We will now adjourn special presentations and start the regular meeting in a couple minutes. Good evening and welcome to the joint meeting of the City Council of the City of Moreno Valley Community Services District, City as Successor Agency for the Community Redevelopment Agency of the City of Moreno Valley Housing Authority, Moreno Valley Public Financing Authority, and the Board of Library Trustees. The City Council does receive a separate stipend for CSD meetings. I now call this meeting to order, regular City Council meeting to order on September 7, 2021 at 6:03 p.m. The Pledge of Allegiance will be led by Brian. Okay. Flag of the United States. Thanks, Brian. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Yes, sir. Councilmember Marquez?
Here.
Councilmember Cabrera?
Here.
Mayor Gutierrez?
Here.
Let the record reflect, Mayor Pro Tem Baca is absent.
Okay, staff introductions, please.
Pat Haquesnares, City Clerk.
Stephen Quintanilla, Interim City Attorney.
Mike Lee, City Manager.
Brian Mohan, Assistant City Manager, Chief Financial Officer, City Treasurer.
Michael Wolf, Assistant City Manager, Director of Public Works, City Engineer.
Manuel Mancha, Community Development Director.
Erica Green, Acting Parks and Community Services Director.
Lieutenant Gompa sitting in for Captain Salisbury, Chief of Police.
Battalion Chief Dave Rodriguez, Fire Department.
Great. Thank you, and welcome to the staff. Just a friendly reminder that we do have Spanish translation services in the back for anyone that needs them. I also ask and encourage everyone to keep their comments respectful towards each other, especially to the people that are at the podium. Even if you disagree with whatever they're saying, it's still their First Amendment right to say their comments during public comments. And then we will allow public comments on items on the agenda and items off the agenda. So you can basically speak on any item that you would like within those 3 minutes. And then in order to preserve the meeting decorum, none of the staff or the council members will respond. If you do have a question, we will actually respond to you towards the end. So if you do have a question or something like that, just stay around and then staff will get your contact information and then we'll reach out to you. Okay, but just so to keep the meeting going, just know that. So if you do ask a question, just move on to in your minutes. Okay, Madam Clerk, how many speakers do we have tonight?
We have 5 so far.
Okay, and then just a friendly reminder, if you did want to speak, but you've never spoken before, you could fill out a blue speaker slip and then submit it to the bailiff or to any of our explorers as well. Okay, so we'll go ahead and start with the first 3 speakers and we'll allow 3 minutes each tonight.
The first 3 speakers are Fred Bañuelos, Ed Delgado, and Angel Lopez Ramirez.
Oh, yes, right there at the podium, yeah.
How do we sound? Good?
Yes.
Hey, my name is Fred Banuelos, and I'm here today to learn about the City Council and how things work at these meetings. I've been watching past council meetings and also the State of the City video, and I just recently started to read the General Plan 2040. I want to be an informed constituent, and I want to help my friends and coworkers that live in Moreno Valley be informed as well. I want to help you guys make Moreno Valley better. Okay, I don't care what political party you belong to. I just want to find out what things we agree on, and I want to help you make Moreno Valley better. A little bit about myself. I'm new to Moreno Valley. I'm a homeowner, and I've lived here for about 2 years. And I also work for the state of California, and I work in Riverside. I live in Ulysses Cabrera's District 4, and I reached out to him at a town meeting at LaSalle Sports Park a little while ago. And I actually got his phone number, and I texted him recently, and I hear he's also running for the mayor of the city. But again, I'm just trying to learn about things, how it works. My name is Fred Banuelos, and it's nice to meet you all. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Next speaker, Ed Delgado, Angel Lopez Ramirez, and Bob Palomares.
Good evening.
Mr. Mayor, City Council, my name is Ed Delgado, City Leaders. I'd like to take the first 13 seconds of my 3 minutes and honor the 13 service members that paid the ultimate sacrifice for our freedom. So if you join me in a 13 seconds of silence, please. Thank you. I'd like to formally introduce myself, Ed Delgado. I'm running for City Council to help you guys make decisions for our city. I'm a 10-year veteran of the U.S. Coast Guard, 6 years reserve, 4 years active. I got out of the active duty in 94, moved to Moreno Valley in 96, got married, started having children, raised my family here. I've been here for 25 years. When I got out of the reserves, I joined the Riverside Sheriff's Department, where I started as a deputy in the jail as a correctional deputy and rose my way all the way to assistant sheriff, where I am now. I've been there 22 years. I was approached and asked if I would be interested in running for city council. My first thought was no. I had no idea what the process was. My wife and I prayed about it. We talked about it. We decided to throw our name in the hat. My name in the hat, but obviously it's a family decision. So I would like to see Moreno Valley continue to grow. This is a great city. I raised my 3 children here. They went to the schools in Moreno Valley. They played in the parks in Moreno Valley, all youth sports in Moreno Valley. And I said, well, they're off to college. Why not give back to the city that provided such a great environment for me and my children? Why not give back now? I would love to see us maintain a safe environment for our children, our young families in Moreno Valley, like my family was provided. I'd like to see more jobs, better paying jobs to the city of Moreno Valley, and the children of Moreno Valley need guidance. They need a great education to continue what we have going on here. You have a room full of city leaders, and I would love to see our children, your children, grow up in a safe environment in the city of Moreno Valley.
Bob Palomares and Tom Jarrell.
Good evening, Mayor, members of the City Council, city staff, and members of the public. If I may take an opportunity to reintroduce myself, my name is Angel Lopez Ramirez, candidate for City Council District 2, 24-year veteran of the United States Army and California Army National Guard, combat veteran, and since 2014, a civil servant working for the federal government as an employee for the Social Security Administration. I have 30 years of dedicated public service that I am prepared to offer to the great people of District 2. That's what I bring to the table. And the reason why I am here tonight is because I want to comment on the recent passed legislation with California Senate Bill 9. California Senate Bill 9 authorizes on single-family lots on homes for 4 family units to be built, for example, in a homeowners association or in the suburban areas. And this bill is not a very good bill. A lot of people in the homeowners associations have communicated their concerns to me as well, that they fear that California Senate Bill 9 will destroy our homeowners associations. In addition, Senate Bill number 10 allows for any local government, for example, this city council, to override objections from homeowners associations to build 10 high-density family units on the same single-family lot. So if you can imagine a quarter lot with 10 high-density units, many constituents have expressed their concerns that it will add gentrification to our areas, destroy homeowners associations, make housing less affordable. And for the constituents in District 2, just know that should the great people of District 2 decide to elect me, I will be in your corner. And then this brings me to an unfortunate incident that happened late Friday night, early Saturday morning on the corner of Ironwood and Paris Boulevard. The unfortunate incident that occurred was that 4 campaigns had experienced vandalism and destruction of campaign signs. They were knocked down. Mine was actually cut in half. And thankfully, the Stars and Stripes remained standing. And the 4 campaigns that were affected were the campaigns of Mr. Delgado, Dr. Kerry Then, Mr. Chen, and myself. We all organized and got to the signs roughly about the same time. An incredible experience happened, something very positive in the middle of a campaign season, that we all worked together. We put the signs up back together. And this was just an incredible experience and a positive experience to show the community that in the face of adversity, of vandalism, that 4 campaigns can work together. And it's great example to our community of what things can happen when people work together. Thank you.
Thank you, Angel. Okay.
Bob Palomares, followed by Tom Gerald and Luis Palomares.
Hi there, Bob.
Good evening, Council. I always start off by thanking fire and police for the great work that they do. And Mr. Fred Manuelos, welcome to this city. And you're going to learn that you're going to have to take the good with the bad. I was kind of offended the last city council meeting when one of the council members, Mr. Marcus, made the statement that 2 council members probably were on the take or receiving money for their campaigns and they should be looked at. And I mean, that's how you do it. It takes a lot of money to run a campaign. And sometimes some people that are running, they can't raise any. And that brings me to the point that I'm talking about is that, you know, that's the hypocrisy of David Marcus, is that in the past, he has sold his vote. He took a developer, when this developer wanted to put a mini mart with the gas station and a car wash on JFK and Moreno Beach Drive. And we brought it to his attention at a council meeting. He denied it. We told him, okay, we'll bring the proof. And we did. The 460s came. I believe that's what they are. And he had gotten $10,000 in 3 different increments. And he had taken the developer to the planning commission meeting just to show that he has influence. And don't worry, you'll get it. So that's the hypocrisy. You know, and he has a history of it. He states that at times that he's a city employee, drives his personal vehicle in the past with the city decal on it. He recreates, according to statements by people that were involved, recreates accidents. In this particular accident, one. And, you know, he cleans it up. He's, I would say, a professional liar. And he's a liability to the city because, you know, we can always forgive somebody that does something and that's the end of it. But him, he's always continued to do something. Something will always come up involving him. You know, he'll victimize anybody. So, Mr. Fred Manuelos, look for the truth. Look into it. If you have any questions, you know, I'm sure you will. And again, welcome. Thank you, Council.
Tom Gerald.
Tom Gerald, speaking on behalf of myself, Mayor Gutierrez, Mayor Pro Tem's not here, but council members, members of the staff and the public, both watching at home or on MTV or on the internet. Thank you for the opportunity to speak. First of all, some well-deserved kudos. State of the city, not knocked out of the park. I'm not talking just about the mayor. You did a great job, Mayor. Great presentation with your staff. It just came off, I'd say, flawlessly, and especially with a 1-year gap in between, and just really good, real good enthusiasm, a lot of community pride. You know, my boss comes from a great distance to see those, and he's always very, very impressed. He's like, wow, Marine Valley's really got its act together. So good delivery. And Mayor Pro Tem, Ulysses, you spoke to, and you know, good job up by the whole staff. It just came off spectacularly. Some kudos to the Public Works Department and the graffiti patrol. I had a chance to see a presentation by one of your, I think he's the second in command of the Public Works there, and Joe is his first name, and at the chamber. He just did a great job of enunciating all the many services the Public Works call, which struck a chord with me because I use a lot of them. If I see debris in the roadway, and you know, back in the day, I'd have jumped out of my car and picked it up, and now I'd be in accident, look for a place to happen. So I have to call on them frequently, and whether it's something small as a bolt that might give somebody a flat tire, to something really like a whole car smashed up and left on the roadway. So kinds of weird things. Some really special kudos to those cheerleaders at Valley View High School. Wow. I mean, talk about classy, talk about elegance, talk about dignity. Those young ladies are to be commended. I have put a call into their coach at the school. Dr. Kissidoris gave a very impassioned report on it to the chamber a couple of weeks ago, and that they're to be commended. Those young ladies held their personal heads up high. They carried the dignity of Moreno Valley so high, so it just chokes me up to even remember it. And then finally, this comment about political signage damage. That has been a pet peeve of mine. And back in the day, I placed a lot of signs, but I'll tell you, when I was out placing signs for a candidate, if I saw one of the competitors' sign pushed over, knocked over, I would take time to put it back in. And the person I always felt sorry for was the candidate. Maybe all I can afford is a 8.5 by 11 piece of paper on a stake, and it's going to fall apart in 15 minutes anyhow. That's all the campaign they can muster. So God bless them. That's the American way. I think there's a way maybe we could do a special, it could be voluntary, but you pay in a nominal fee and get a little extra coverage, if you will. It doesn't even have to be police, just somebody to keep an eye on these signs, patrol, make reports, because that's a violation of people's First Amendment rights. And so that's a big one with yours truly. So I just, I've never partook in any damage of signs unless I stepped on one by accident, but in which case I apologize. But in any case, good call. And commend the candidates that pitched in to put them back up. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Tom.
Last speaker, Luis Palomares.
Wow, Bob said a lot. I agree with him on a lot of that. It's so much hypocrisy. You didn't have to mention that and remind us about that. I brought the papers and showed and gave it to the council, the 3 times 10,000. You didn't have to go there, but you woke it up again. Anyway, I'm Luis Palomares, state president of the Mexican Political Association. I'm going to say that today because I'm outraged at what happened at Temecula, and I hear it repeated itself in Hemet. So I'm going to be over there addressing that issue. I'm going to try that. I got to find out when the meetings are. Anyway, wow. Marcus here is supporting Cabrera. They're all in the same boat now. Good luck, Cabrera. That's all I got to say about that one. And I think, Mayor, you're doing a great job. A great job. You always are. Mrs. Baca, Pro Tem Baca. Wow. My hat's off to her. And the staff also, they do an excellent job. So as far as what's coming up over the horizons, I was at the last council, and as far as the general plan, that's great. That is so great. I went down there. That's down Nason, and the school's going to go up pretty soon. And then some apartments on the opposite side on Nason and Cottonwood, a little in between Alexandra. That is so great. Well, we needed a school out there, just like they did over here at Edgemont. State of the art. They're going to do it on this end. We need it. One on the west side and one on the east side. That is a great thing. Also, I'm going to say something else. Mr. Lopez. Wow. Congrats. You're running for the seat. Good. But you don't say anything about jobs. You gave all your credentials, and I salute you for it. But where's the progress? Where's the jobs? Are we going to go forward with you or backward? You sound great. The commercial sounded great, but that's the big but. Where are we going? If you get that seat, how far are we going to go back? 5 years? How long? Because I know your team and your supporters don't want no progress. They don't want no jobs. They don't want nothing on the East End. So what do? We're going back to square one? Not if I can help it. I'm going to support the candidate that's going to bring jobs, that has the mayor's agenda that's always been doing. The mayor's been doing so much stuff in our community to make our city go into the 21st century. And it's going to be a big loss, Mayor, if you leave us. But oh well, we got to do what we got to do. We're still going to be going forward. We're going to still fight the battles, and we're still going to support you in your next arena. So thank you so much for all your service and everything you do here. And our fire and our police department also, thank you so much. And you have a good evening.
Okay. Thank you, Luis. There was that it?
No more speakers.
Okay, now move to consent calendar. Sections A through E on the agenda. All items under the consent calendar, sections A, B, C, D, and E are considered to be routine and non-controversial. It may be enacted by one motion. The motion to adopt the consent calendars is deemed to be a separate motion by each agency and shall be recorded by the city clerk. If there's any items that you'd like discussed or pulled, just go ahead and put speaker requests. Okay, Councilmember Cabrera, which item?
Thank you. Items A6 and A14 for comment.
A6 and A14.
Yes.
Okay, Councilor Marquez.
Yeah, Mayor. A4, just for recognition. That's all.
A4, okay. All right, so A6, we'll go ahead and start with you, Councilmember Cabrera.
Thank you, Mayor. So item A6, I always like to spotlight some of the items on the consent calendar, but this is actually related to Public Works. Michael Wolf, I know you're happy about this, but I just want to thank the staff for helping to, plan further ahead to make sure that we repair our roads as fast as possible because, we all deal with it, driving over potholes and everything, but we're doing everything that we can to make sure that we fix and maintain our roads. So this item, that's what that's about, making sure that we speed up the planning process to prepare to fix the roads over the next 5 years. We have a 5-year, basically road maintenance plan, and this is part of that. So I just want to give kudos to our staff for all that work.
Okay. And then A14.
Item A14. So this is also very important. This actually relates to rental assistance. So I want to tip my hat off to Brian Mohan, Mike Lee, and everybody who has worked on this. As you know, with the pandemic, there's been a lot of hardships in terms of folks trying to pay their rent, trying to pay their mortgages, landlords making sure that their tenants pay. And this is actually the city receiving an additional $11 million, approximately $11 million from the federal government to further assist tenants and residents with past due rent, basically. So this is an additional $11 million that fortunately the city is going to get so we can send it on to our residents to pay for past due rent. So I just wanted to highlight that item because that's really, really good news for the city. Thank you.
Okay, no problem. A4, Councilmember Marquez.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. Team member, is she here today or the individual here today? I'm sorry, but Rayleigh. Oh, I'm sorry. Come on up to the podium, Mayor. I just want to recognize you. You can leave it on. Yeah. I'm not going to make you speak right now. I just want to say congratulations, young man. It takes courage to get involved in anything to do with the city, especially at your age. But I want to say, thank you, and thank you. And I believe the rest of my colleagues do too. That you want to get out there and help the city grow and be a proud teenager and young adult and hopefully raise your family here in Moreno. So again, I want to say thank you.
Okay. All right.
I move.
Okay. Second. Motion made by Councilor Marquez, a second by Councilmember Cabrera. Okay, and then Madam Clerk will put the vote up. Okay, and it's approved 3 yes. And congratulations, Riley. Okay, you're now a team commissioner. So congratulations, and I'm looking forward for your service. Thank you. Okay, we're going to go to item G, which is on the refinancing of the bond.
% as a percentage of the refunded principal amount. Typically, when you're looking at refinancing net present value, there's typically about a 3 to 5% threshold as to whether or not we should consider that refunding. This being almost double that in most cases here. This is a great refinance for the city and will save the Moreno Valley utility $4.14 million over the next 25 years. That would conclude my presentation, but I am available for any questions, comments that you may have.
Thank you so much, Brian, for the brief report. We'll have council questions of staff, and we'll just start with just questions. Councilor Marquez?
Yeah. You said how much money we're gonna save?
4.14 estimated.
But we can give that to public safety, right?
Unfortunately, this is Moreno Valley Utility, so they can't pay for public safety.
Oh, okay. Well, just want to let the public know then. It's, yeah, our hands are tied, so.
Yes.
But anyways, anytime we save city, money for the city, it's great.
Yep.
Thank you, Brian.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll move to deliberation. Okay, any comments on this one? Okay, I'll entertain a motion to approve staff's recommendation number 1.
Move.
Okay, motion made by Councilmember Marquez, second by Councilmember Cabrera. Madam Clerk, please call for the vote. There'll be another motion on this one. So it's approved 3 yes on the first motion, recommendation number 1. I entertain a motion by the Public Financing Authority to approve staff's recommendation number 2.
Second.
Okay, motion made by Councilmember Cabrera, second by Councilmember Marquez. Please vote. Okay, item passes 3 ayes. We'll go back to F1. And this is a public hearing for the 4 National Pollutant Discharge Elimination System ballot proceedings. And then we'll give some time for the clerk, I believe, that might need to count some of these ballots, huh? Yeah, okay, but we'll go ahead and have a staff report, a brief staff report.
Great. Thank you, Honorable Mayor, council members. This is a routine action we have quite often as the city requires development projects to mitigate the cost of certain impacts created by the project. One of those impacts being NPDES. This action includes 4 developments, and just wanted to remind everyone that the impact of this item, this action has no impact to the general citizens or taxpayers of the city. And at this point, I'm available for any questions prior to conducting the public hearing.
Okay, thank you so much, Brian, and thanks for reminding us that it's just a routine item here that we do all the time. Go ahead and open the hearing. Well, actually, first of all, is there any council questions of staff on this one? I'm going to open the hearing. Okay, Madam Clerk, any public testimony?
None.
Okay, I'll close the hearing. Any council deliberation on this one, if desired? Okay, we'll do 2 separate actions on this one. Entertain a motion to approve staff recommendation number 2, which is to direct the city clerk to open and count the returned MPDS ballots.
I move.
A motion made by Councilmember Marquez and a second by Councilmember Cabrera. Madam Clerk, please call for the vote for that one. Thank you. Item passes 3 ayes, and then we'll give a moment for our city clerk to count the ballots.
For 24771 Nandina, yes. For Maria Juana Luna, yes. For Raising Cane's, yes. For LCG, yes.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. So all of them said yes? Okay, great. Okay, I entertain a motion by council to approve staff's recommendation numbers 3 and 4 to accept the results. A motion entertained by Councilmember Cabrera. We'll do a second from Councilmember Marquez. And we'll go ahead and call for the vote here. Please vote. Item passes 3 ayes. This takes us to our city manager. Just make sure I didn't skip over anything here. Any city council reports? We have none tonight. City manager's report.
Sure. Thank you, Mayor. Just 2 items tonight. This week's going to be really hot again, so I want to remind the residents we do have our cool centers that are open. This is at the Colorado Golf Course, the Senior Center, and of course our 3 libraries. So take advantage for our cool centers. It is going to be very, very hot this week. Also, the second item is that we're having our next big event, which is going to be the El Grito event. It is going to be on September 15th from 5 to 10 o'clock. It'll be at the amphitheater. So it is a free event. So please do come out and enjoy the festivities and celebrate El Grito with all of us. That concludes my presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike. Okay. This brings us to our reports and comments from council members who did not speak earlier. So we'll go ahead and do Councilmember Marquez.
Thank you, Mayor. A lot of people have asked me why I wear a yellow ribbon, because as one of the speakers said today, what occurred in Afghanistan recently, but we left Americans there, regardless if they didn't want to come back or they couldn't get back. I'll wear this until they all come back to the United States or wherever they want to go, where it's safer. So that's why I wear this yellow ribbon. If anyone would like one, just get in contact with me and I'll get you one, even with American flag also. September 17th, that's our first annual Moreno Valley construction job fair here at the CRC. And that's from 9 in the morning to 1 p.m. I encourage residents in Moreno Valley who want to get in this profession, or you're in this profession, but you want to change jobs maybe. I encourage you to come out. This is going to be, it's our first annual. I've seen these carpenter unions work, and everything you see out here in Moreno Valley, majority of them are carpenters and the unions. So I encourage you to come out on the 17th. Lately, I've been getting some calls in Texas, and Chief Salisbury isn't here, but after school traffic. I read next door articles. A lot of the parents are complaining. Don't they have anything better to do? Our PD? Well, you wouldn't say that if your child got run over at one of the schools, because you're standing on the opposite side of the street waving to them to run across the street, and they get hit. I push for this, or have our PD out there to protect our children. I don't want to get an email or a text saying we just had a fatality at Valley View High School because somebody was triple parked, and yes, triple parked on eucalyptus waiting to pick up their kids, and the kid darted out in front of those cars. Do they have something better to do? I consider that something good. We have boots on the ground to take care of our crime problem during those periods, mornings or afternoons. They're out there for one reason, is to keep your children safe. I'm proud to say that the overpass for Moreno Valley overpass, we're finally going to start widening it. If the business owners in that area are listening, I know it's going to be rough. We're going to probably shut down a lot of that intersection within the 18 months it's going to take to rebuild that overpass. But you know what? We need it. We're a growing city. We need those overpasses to be widened. Not only widen, but they're going to raise it because it's too low right now. I asked the business owners and the residents in that area, just bear with us. I know it's going to be hard. Traffic, it's going to be rough. Business owners are going to lose some business, but we want to improve Moreno Valley. So I ask your patience for 18 months. And if it doesn't rain, hopefully maybe it'll get done sooner. But in California, we all know it doesn't rain. So hopefully we'll get that done quicker, sooner. I generally don't comment on comments that people out here talk about. But when it's a flat out lie, I do comment. This gas station owner, I have no clue who he is, who proposed this, or who wanted to build it. In my 5.5 years on the council, I've been to one planning commission meeting, And that was my first week I was on the council. I attended a planning commission, and my last. I don't interfere in planning commission because they have their job to do. And I trust that they will get that job done. But I received $10,000. How did you people know out here what a 460 is? Look at my 460s. See who financed my campaigns. Majority of the money came from my money, my funds, not from developers. So where he got his idea of thousands of dollars, that's a flat out lie. By the way, this gentleman owes me $1,000 and he still hasn't paid me. So maybe he'll pay me if I take him to court. Who knows? Now, the last thing I want to say, I'm speaking, thank you, is I want to congratulate our staff. Mike Lee, you've been doing a hell of a job. And I've told that over and over and over. And you have individuals like Brian, Mike Wolf, Manny, Erica, soon to be leaving us. But it's rough out there, and I understand that. I understand that we have employees that are COVID, and they're sick, they're home, or they're taking care of their kids because their kids have COVID. But our staff, if anybody comes out and says they're not doing their job, well, I'll tell you one thing, you're crazy, because our staff is doing a hell of a job, and I will back them 100%. I believe my colleagues up here would too. Pat, you've been doing a good job, taking some extra slack on hiring our personnel for our office, but I know it will eventually get taken care of. And with that being said, thank you very much and have a nice evening.
Thank you, Councilmember. Okay, Councilmember Cabrera.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening. Buenas tardes to everyone. It's good to be back here once again. First, I would like to just mention last week, I think the mayor mentioned this earlier, we had the grand opening of, or I should say reopening of the facility, the RCAT, over at the county building right by the county hospital on Cactus and Nason. The mayor was there, Mike Lee was there, I think a couple other members of our team were there as well. So we got to take a tour of that, and it's actually timely because of the special presentation that we had today. So that facility, you know, it's really heartbreaking because the reality is that, you know, these things do happen, really evil things happen in this world, but thank God that, you know, we have good people in this world who stand up, they answer the call, and they're there, especially for our children who suffer these horrific things. So, you know, just really, really glad that we have that facility here in Moreno Valley. It's really a nice facility, really nice people that work there. This morning, actually, I went on a ride along with our sheriff's department, specifically to shadow the CBAT team. We were out there with one of the sergeants. I was able to join him in his vehicle, and then we were kind of following the CBAT team. We answered a couple of calls, so we had a chance to interact with some of the homeless folks. And you know, every ride along is a little different. You never know what you're going to encounter. Sometimes, you know, I've been on like 5 or 6 ride alongs since I've been elected, and sometimes you respond to like 10 calls. I remember one time we were in pursuit of a vehicle, after active pursuit, and today it was a little bit more calm, but you know, we got to interact with some of the homeless folks. So it's really, really good to see that, you know, we have clinical therapists, we have social workers who are out there actually interacting with our homeless. So hopefully we can expand on that. It sounds like it's going very well, and I was really glad to be a part of that. So thank you to our sergeants who helped me and allowed me to be out there with them today. Also, Valley View High School. I just want to comment quickly on what happened in Temecula. You know, that's very unfortunate to hear about that, what happened over in Temecula for our Valley View High School cheerleaders. You know, that kind of behavior is just unacceptable. But I do want to commend our students at Valley View School. I actually went to Valley View years ago. And, you know, I want to commend them and their coaching staff as well for being very professional and taking the high road. You know, we don't stoop down to those levels and start slinging, bad words and things like that back at them. But I definitely want to tip my hat off, and they've received a lot of support, from local businesses. I know that the owner of BJ's bought them dinner for the entire team. So that's a really nice gesture to show them that we're with them. So I want to send that message over to our Valley View High School squad. There was also an unfortunate incident that happened I think this was 2 days ago or yesterday, with a street cart vendor. In Spanish, we call it the elote man, actually in my district, over on the east side of the city, where from my understanding, it was 3 young boys pretty much assaulted the street cart vendor and stole like $800 worth of cash. And they pepper sprayed him, which that's just unacceptable. We can't not have that. I never would have thought that something like that would happen here in Moreno Valley. We've seen it happen in Los Angeles. I never would have thought that would happen here in Moreno Valley. But I want to bring it up because even though that was unfortunate, I want to thank our sheriff's department because I know that they were successfully able to find and apprehend the perpetrators of that crime and bring them to justice. So again, just the outpouring of support that I've seen from the community to help the elote man, to get back on his feet. And he's out there pushing the cart again today, selling his elotes. So just want to send my support to him as well. El Grito is next Wednesday, September 15th. So definitely come out, join us for that. It's always really nice. It's live music and a lot of it's about Mexican independence, right? So definitely we'll be there and look forward to seeing you all. And in closing, I also want to send my condolences to the families and loved ones of the 13 Marines who lost their lives in Afghanistan. We're all very familiar with, what has transpired over there. But I do want to send my condolences to all of their families and loved ones. And, we're with them. And so I would like to request if we can close today's meeting in memory of not only the 13 Marines who are now in heaven, but also all of the American soldiers whose lives have been lost in Afghanistan. Thank you.
Thank you, Council Member. Want to just speak a little bit about, for my closing comments, on the variant. It is out there, and we still haven't reached the peak. Unfortunately, it looks like it's going to probably be the 15th of September around there. But even then, we still got to do our part. We still got to do our part, and that means, social distancing, wearing our masks, making sure that we're vaccinated. There will be the 3rd booster shot that should be coming out pretty soon. I know that if you are immune compromised or you have or overage, you can get the 3rd booster shot already, at least for Pfizer. So make sure that you check that with either Kaiser or any of your clinics that you go to. It's really important that we do our part. Because now more than ever, we do have our kids. They're already going into the schools, and we may even see a surge there as well. I know I've been speaking with the superintendent, meet with them regularly, and we have a lot of teachers that are out, mainly mostly kids that are out ill. So it's pretty scary there. It's pretty scary for many of us, but I know we can get through it. We're going to get through it just like we did this past year. I want to remind everyone about the El Grito event. This is something that brought to the city several years ago with Mayor Pro Tem Victoria Baca. And it's not only to just celebrate the Mexican Independence Day, that's the title of it, El Grito, but it's really to celebrate Hispanic Heritage Month and everything that they do in our community. And to also inform people about various programs that are Latino members do in our community. So it is September 15th from 5 to 10 p.m. I will be speaking on that evening, and we're going to have a ton of events going on. That it's going to be very, very fun. Bring the kids. We're going to have bands playing from each of the states of Mexico, food, vendors as well, a lot of activities for the kids, a fun zone area as well. It'll be really, really fun, and it'll be right here at the amphitheater. So at our brand new amphitheater that we're so excited about. The State of the City presentation that I gave was really well attended. I really want to thank everybody, the staff, the media team. I thanked them at the meeting, but I want to thank them again for their help. To do an event like that, It takes a village. It really does. And it takes a lot of us to really work together. It's very complicated. And in fact, we start about almost 8 months before really preparing for that event. Whether it's, the rehearsals, whether it's, just getting everything organized, the design, the theme, apprenticeship, or in anything like that. I highly recommend that you do come out to be doing some marketing blitzes as well in the county to have a community workforce agreement for local hire, which means, to hire locally for public projects. We were the first city to ever have that, and we're the largest city in the county to have that. And I'm very proud of that because it's really putting our stamp, here, and showing people that we do want people to have local jobs and not have to commute out of town. I do want to honor actually a couple of folks and also the request for the service members as well too. I did light the M in their honor as well. We were able to do that. And it's just so horrific, about what happened and just what the family members are experiencing right now as well. So we will honor the 13 service members for their service and unfortunate of what happened as well. I also want to recognize Moreno Valley College's first founding president, Dr. Richard Torek. He was a friend of mine as well. He actually hired me when I first got my first job as a secretary at the dean's office. And I was only, I think at that time I was 18 years old. I was a really young secretary working full time for the college, and really good guy, really good guy. And unfortunately, he did pass away on September 5th after an extended illness. He was designated, he helped designate Moreno Valley College as the beacon campus for health science programs. And then he also helped and spearheaded the first ever physician assistant program that we had here in the county. So a lot of physician assistants that graduated, a lot of them graduated from Moreno Valley College. And it was because of that, because of his leadership. They no longer have the program, but it was a great leadership program that he started there. So I want to close the meeting in his honor and then also in the honor of the 13 service members. And we'll go ahead and adjourn the meeting tonight at 6:51 p.m. All right. Thank you, everyone, for being here. And congratulations to Riley as well. Thank you.